you really tend to see that there is such an extreme amount of hubris involved here, as well as just ignorance, as well as just a confidence stemming from the success of the American operation in Venezuela. But certainly as we get through May and as we head towards June, the idea that the American president has to make a decision, he cannot dither any further because of American domestic political realities, is right there. I mean, I believe that current status is something the current status of this indefinite ceasefire or this frozen conflict or whatever you want to call it, is something that both sides could live by. That it's a modus vivendi that both sides could, benefit enough from, that face their publics and say, look, for the Iranians, we stood up to the Americans and the Israelis, and now we control the Straits of Hormuz, and we dished it out as good as we took it, and as to the internationally, one is now a world power. So certainly the Iranian come out of this as it currently exists, claiming victory, and Donald Trump can do the same thing as well. The problem with this, of course, is Lebanon, whether or not the Iranians would allow the current war in Lebanon to continue. The Iranians have been insistent that anything regarding this war includes Lebanon. And then, of course, the Israelis themselves. And, for Benjamin Netanyahu, who is facing some of the fiercest political criticism he's faced over the last few years because of these ceasefires, this status quo is not what they want. It's not domestic. It doesn't provide it doesn't provide what they wanted in terms of regime change or fracturing Iran and making it weak, having it fall into civil war, whatever, so that it couldn't be an impediment or an obstacle or an adversary in the Middle East. But also, too, it doesn't serve Netanyahu's purposes in terms of his own domestic political purposes. The idea was that this war would go well, there'd be regime change, it'd be very popular in Israel, and then elections would occur. The Israelis have to have their elections by October, and actually they just, there was a motion or filed in the Knesset, the Israeli parliament, just the other day, and so you're looking at Israeli elections probably end of August or so, I guess.
Oh, wow.
The idea being that this war would be successful, right? And then Netanyahu would sweep into elections and go back. But now Netanyahu is facing a tremendous amount of political opposition because of the ceasefire in Iran, because of the, quote, ceasefire, unquote, in Lebanon. And you see that his chief adversary, his chief opponent, or Yair Lapid with Naftali Bennett, they've aligned together, Bennett and Lapid, based upon the Lebanese ceasefire. I mean, so you don't see anything where this status quo, this indefinite ceasefire, is of benefit to the Israeli leadership. And then, of course, the issues with Lebanon for the Iranians.